Welcome everybody to InterExchange Spanish Immersion in Costa Rica, Guatemala and Peru. This is going to be a quick overview. For those of you watching on Google Hangouts, you can add in your questions at any time and we'll be happy to answer them during the presentation. You can always reach us at 1-800-597-3675 if you have any questions about our programs at all, and we'll look forward to being in touch. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what it's like to, of course, arrive, join your classes, what the costs are for these programs, the dates, enrollment process, where you're going to be staying, optional language exchanges that are available during your program, and social activities. So you can see the 4 locations where we offer Spanish immersion are 2 locations in Costa Rica. One is Manuel Antonio by the beach, and one is in San Jose, the capital, as well as Antigua, Guatemala, and Cusco, Peru. These are some photos of the language school. All of the schools have a lot of really nice hangout space. So there's always room to kind of hang out, do your homework, connect with other participants. The Manuel Antonio location is just down the street from the beach, so you'll probably want to bring a towel and a bathing suit and just head to the beach after class. Lots of exploration to do from Cusco as well. San Jose, Antigua is the same, all really beautiful areas. So really nice place to be and study and just focus. Again, please feel free to add in any questions that you have during the presentation. We will have a Q&A at the end, and we might actually skip to a few questions here and there throughout the presentation as well. Just to talk about how your program starts, you can begin anytime throughout the year. Most of the time, people arrive on a Sunday. That is when your accommodation will begin. If you'd like to arrive Saturday or Friday because the flights are way cheaper to arrive on those days, that's totally fine. We can add extra nights and it'll probably work out for you financially. But the standard arrival date is Sunday, and then checkout would be whatever the final Saturday is of your program. On the Monday morning, when your class begins, you're actually going to join a placement exam. Generally takes about 20-30 minutes, and you'll just do a 15-minute exam by paper and chat with one of the teachers or staff, and they'll make sure that you get placed according to your level of proficiency in Spanish. If you ever feel like your particular class is over your head or it's too elementary, just talk to a staff member there and they'll be happy to get you switched out and do a more appropriate level. We'll talk a little bit more about the options, but you could do 4 hours of group classes or 4 hours of private lessons, or a combination of both. So the 6 hours would be 4 group and 2 private for the most intensive program. Any of those still give you a good amount of free time to hang out and explore. Weekends are always free, and you can definitely book excursions. Our partner in any of these countries can help you with that. We hope that you can stay at least 2 weeks so that you've got a weekend sort of sandwiched in the middle where you can go and explore a little bit. But many people stay for longer. That's really up to you. Or if you can only stay a week, that's fine. You're still going to advance a lot in your Spanish during that week. And your program will include host family accommodation with breakfast and dinner. And the families are usually around to kind of help you with logistics and help you practice your Spanish. One day they might be busy, preparing to get to work during breakfast. Another day the whole family might be together. Every family is a little bit different, but the idea is that they are kind of generally around and a great resource for you. Rooms are shared with other participants unless you request a private room, and we're happy to do that. It's just a little bit more expensive, but we do have participants who just much prefer to have that private space, and totally fine, and we're happy to organize that. Michael Dooley asked if there's an age limit. You just have to be at least 18. We are generally speaking a youth and young adult focused organization, but for our Spanish immersion programs, We have people all, throughout their 20s and sometimes into their 30s. We've had participants in their 40s and 50s as well. That is fine. There really is not an age limit for this program. Thank you for that question. And again, please feel free to chime in. There is a Q&A bar. It should be at the right of your screen. If you're watching from YouTube Live, you may not be able to see that, but you can always look us up online or send us an email, workabroad@interexchange.org, or give us a call as well. So the classes will start on a Sunday. Again, you'll have that placement exam to get you in the right level. The teachers are all very qualified and all really fun too. I've been down there to do the classes myself, and I progressed a lot, but they also do try to keep you engaged, especially if you're coming from a different time zone. You might be a little bit tired at first, and there's a lot to cover, but they are really fun and engaging, and they do try to focus on giving you ample opportunity to practice speaking so that they can gauge where you are and so that they know how to correct you. You don't have to bring any books. Textbook is provided. They may give a little, small assignments, but it's kind of informal homework. You'll want to do it because it does keep you on track, but it's nothing extensive where you're graded. However, there is college credit possible. And if that is a goal for you, then we would want to have a conversation about that, because it's not difficult for us to arrange for college credit to be issued with these courses, but the terms are a little bit different. You generally would need to commit to at least 3 weeks, and it does affect the pricing structure, since the university that accredits the program does charge a per credit fee as well that we have to build into our program fee. So here's just a snapshot. If you do require a syllabus, for example, if you're looking to transfer credit to your institution, we can provide you with the materials that you might need to provide to your academic department to prove that you're doing a certain level that includes a certain amount of requirements and assignments. So that's just kind of a quick snapshot of what those look like, but we do have more extensive information. Most of our participants do not take this course for college credit. That's just what our experience has been so far. A lot of people treat it kind of as an active learning vacation, a chance to decompress a little bit and get away, but to build some structure into that and to know that you're doing something good for yourself in the process. We talked already about the course options, so private and group levels are possible. Most are going to focus on conversation. The group sizes are small. 8 is the maximum, but usually they're no more than about 6, and sometimes you might have 2, 3 people in a group. If for some reason you're the only person in your group, meaning you were the only one that placed at your proficiency level, then that would of course be a private class, and any 2 hours of group lessons would be replaced with 1 hour of private lessons. It does come up occasionally, and if you really want to be with a group, then just talk to our partner in country for social activities and maybe getting set up with a group the following week, joining some of the things that they have going on, just so that you can actually have the chance to connect with people. But there is that small chance that you might have a private lesson instead. We do also offer volunteer opportunities. The partner that we work with in all of these countries supports a number of initiatives. One big thing that they do is support English learners who are local to that region. And whether you sign up for a formal volunteer program or not, you're welcome to connect with those English learners for informal chat sessions, because then you'll be able to help each other out with your language learning. And that's the free tandem language exchange, which usually happens in 1 hour sessions. You can sign up just for a one-time thing, speak in Spanish for an hour, speak in English for an hour, and you're really helping a local out in a big way while making another connection overseas. And you can sign up every day, but some people just do it a couple times, but we encourage you to get involved in that if you want. It doesn't cost anything extra, and this is all about you improving your language proficiency, so it's a good idea. Host families are generally middle-class homes, secure homes. You will have a key to come and go. Of course, respect the rules and let them know if you aren't going to be around for a particular meal. Clean up after yourself. But they're really excited to welcome you there, and the families have been screened and vetted, and they're all enthusiastic about the idea of exchange. They are compensated for hosting, and of course, part of that goes towards your meals, which are breakfast and dinner. Lunch will be on your own since you'll be out and about. Lots of good food to have in the communities where you will be, though. Again, private rooms are possible. If you'd like, just let us know. Most host families speak only Spanish because they want you to practice. Some of them may have one family member that speaks English fluently. It really depends on the family. But the idea is that you're practicing while you're there anyway. But know that there are English-speaking liaisons and staff members down there. So if you have any questions and need to talk about a logistical thing or you have an emergency, there is somebody to speak with in English. A few more images of host families. When you get to the airport, you're going to be picked up by a representative that has a smiley face flag. So you don't have to worry about anything from the moment you arrive. Just make sure that you're on the lookout for that person. And of course, when you give us your flight itinerary, we will confirm your pickup and provide more information about your particular arrival location. But know that you will be picked up from the airport. And your driver will have a welcome packet for you, just some things to read over in the car on the way back to your host family. Families are usually within walking distance to the school. Not always. In Manuel Antonio, that's not the case. You may need to take a local bus. So be prepared for that because it does come up. But buses are very cheap. Of course, you can do taxis too, also very inexpensive. Lots to do in your free time. Cusco is like an outdoors person's paradise. There's so much good trekking to do from there and other outdoor adventure activities. Antigua, Guatemala is just a nice, charming little town surrounded by volcanoes, and you can get out to the mountains for trekking with a guided tour as well if you want. And so much to do from San Jose, Costa Rica. I like the capital. If you don't really want to be in a city, then Manuel Antonio is a good option. You're still staying in a smaller city, but you're kind of closer to a lot of beaches. But if you're in San Jose, you can do excursions too on the weekends. And it's also just a really fun city. So ask us for ideas. I'm always happy to make suggestions. There will be a monthly activities calendar posted at the school. And when you go in there, there's staff to talk to all the time, not just about your classes, but about what to do. And the calendars are just, ideas for you throughout the month, but our partner does organize events just for participants. If salsa and cooking lessons aren't your thing, join them anyway. It's a good way to connect and get out of your comfort zone and try something new. But there's always participants and students coming and going, and it's not difficult to connect. Everybody wants to make new friends while they're there. A lot of people add some time after programs as well. When can you go? We can book this very quickly. I'd suggest, planning in advance, a couple of months if you can. But if you're listening right now and you are ready to travel, just give us a call. We can generally confirm programs within a couple of weeks, sometimes even more quickly. But for your own sanity, plan ahead. It's always going to be better. And of course, you're going to need your passport. U.S. citizens do not need a visa to enter any of these 3 countries for less than 90 days, but obviously you do need a passport. Visit interexchange.org and find your program. You can read blogs from previous participants and alumni. You will become a part of our alumni network when you're done, and there's a lot of really cool resources, including a language program. When you get online, there's blue sign-up buttons throughout our website, and all you need to do is just fill out a few forms and upload a couple of documents, and we'll get you on your way. We always slow you down with a phone call, though, because we do want to make sure that even if you're somebody who's just a self-starter and can figure the whole process out on your own, it's nice to touch base with us by phone at least once. There's a few points that we'd like to review, and we want to learn a little bit more about you and your goals as well. Once again, check out our site, click one of those blue sign-up buttons, and that's the application interface on the right there. It's not difficult. When you apply, we do require that you pay a part of your program fee, $250, just so that we can book it as a good faith deposit. If you should need to cancel before we confirm your program, we'll refund it. The balance of your course wouldn't be due until we actually confirm your placement on the program. I'm going to go to a question from Michael, which is, can applicants apply to more than one program? Absolutely. If you want to switch from Costa Rica to Peru, we can do that. You would be responsible for your travel costs to get from one country to the next. But if there's an extra night in between those two locations, for example, if you finish a program in Costa Rica on Saturday and your accommodation ends, but you fly to Peru and arrive on Saturday, we'll include that extra night at no cost. So we're happy to organize that, and it would be a really fun way to explore more than one place. And if you're talking about signing up for other inter-exchange programs besides these Spanish immersion programs, absolutely. Just let us know, and we can talk about the logistics of that. And what I mean by that is our Teach English, au pair, and work and travel programs that we offer. Some of you might already know a little bit about those, but you can read a lot more on our website. Let us know how we can get you to your destination. Always happy to help, and our contact information is right there on the screen. I want to just briefly talk about the pricing for these programs. So bear with me for just a second while I bring up our website so that you can take a look. And again, if you do have any questions in this process, just go ahead and chime in the Q&A box. This is our pricing for our program in Guatemala, straight from our website. And I'm going to scroll up a little bit here, just so that you can see what our site looks like. Again, here is the sign up button. Just pop in your email address and go ahead. Guatemala is the least expensive country to join a program on. The cost of living is a little lower. Flights are also going to be cheaper to get there, but that's what the pricing structure looks like. Yes, that $260 for a one-week small group course does include host family accommodation and meals. We're able to keep our costs very low as a nonprofit organization. So that's, Guatemala might be a good place to start if cost is a concern. But if you're not interested in that location, Check out our other Learn Spanish programs. Peru is a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of on par. And I'll show you the pricing for Costa Rica as well, which is going to be quite a bit more. The cost of living is just higher to be there, as you'll find when you go. It's still a very inexpensive place to travel, but the upfront costs are going to be just a little bit more for the language courses. Nevertheless, $515 for a 1-week class, including all of your accommodation and meals, we think that that's a pretty good deal. Let us know if there's anything that we can help with. Again, I'm going to go back to our presentation here, just so that you have our contact information. We're going to wrap it up now if there aren't any other questions. My name is James. It's been a pleasure presenting. Look forward to talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.